In the last session, we discussed about the what is the torque acting on a dipole which is placed in a uniform magnetic field, and also we derive a formula for time period of oscillations of the compass needle which is placed in a uniform magnetic field, and after we derive what is the potential energy required to move the dipole in a magnetic field, and we observe when the potential energy is maximum and when the potential energy is minimum, and based on that we studied what is the stable position of the dipole in a magnetic field and what is the unstable position of the dipole in a magnetic field. Okay, now in that we have an important 2-mark question, that is definite means formula for time period of the oscillations of the compass needle. That is the important formula, that is they are going to ask that for the 2-mark question, and they are going to ask 1-mark question, that is 1-mark question in the potential energy cases when the dipole is stable in a uniform magnetic field, when the dipole is unstable in a uniform magnetic field, and also they are going to ask when the potential energy is maximum and when the potential energy is minimum. So once again see that you can understand 2-mark and 1-mark questions there. Now in today's class we are going to discuss about what is the analogy between electric fields and magnetic fields, and after that we discuss what is the Gauss law in magnetic field. Now see the analogy of the dipole in electrostatics and magnetostatics. Here we know that what is the electric dipole. Electric dipole is nothing but two equal and opposite charges which are placed into a small distance. This is called electric dipole, and magnetic dipole is nothing but north and south poles. In every bar magnet can act as a magnetic dipole. Now it is a electric dipole and it is the magnetic dipole. Now we are going to see the analogy, means the how the formulas can be written for electric and magnetic dipoles. Okay, so now for that, here I take the electric dipole. When you take the electric dipole, the first one is dipole moment. What is the dipole moment? Dipole moment is represented with P. Dipole moment is nothing but product of the either charge into, means a product of the either charge and distance between the two charges. Here this is known as the dipole moment. Dipole moment P is equal to Q into 2A. Here it is also vector quantity. Dipole moment is P bar is equal to Q into distance vector, that is the length. Length is here taken as vector, that is Q into 2A bar. So dipole moment of the electric dipole is P bar, that is equal to Q into 2A bar. Okay, no? And here always the dipole moment is from negative charge to positive charge direction. Next, coming to the magnetic dipole moment. Magnetic dipole moment is represented with the term M. M is equal to current I into area. M is equal to I into area. It is written as M bar is equal to I into A bar. So this is also a vector quantity. Okay. Magnetic electric dipole moment is nothing but P bar equal to Q into 2A, where magnetic dipole is M bar is equal to I into A bar. So here this is the dipole moment and here it is the dipole moment. Okay. Second analogy is equatorial field. Here you know that in the first chapter this is the axial line and it is the equatorial line. Similarly here also, here we take it is the axial line and it is the equatorial line. Okay, na? Now we are going to write what are the formulas between axial line field and equatorial field for the electrostatics and magnetostatics. Okay. Now for equatorial field you already derived. Here the field is acting in this direction. The equatorial field is acting in this direction. You derived in the first chapter, that is field act along the equatorial line is equal to, what is the formula? Minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into P bar by R cube. The equatorial field in the electrostatics is equal to 1 minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught P bar by R cube. Why? Because the dipole moment direction is like this, but whereas field direction is like this. Once you refer that first chapter, you can identify the what is the electric field along the equatorial line of the dipole. Okay. In the similar way, here this is the magnetic field along the equatorial line. The magnetic field along the equatorial line is, just we take the analogy, epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space in electric fields. Now mu naught is the permeability of the free space for the magnetic field. Now we write it as minus mu naught by 4 pi. Here we have the P bar. P bar is the electric dipole. Now in place we are going to take magnetic dipole m bar divided by R cube is the distance between point and the center of the dipole. So this is the equatorial field due to the electric dipole, and it is the equatorial field due to the magnetic dipole. See the analogy, both formulas will be similar, but here we are using epsilon naught in denominator, here we are using mu naught in the numerator. Here dipole moment is P bar, here dipole moment is m bar. Now see the axial field. Here axial field is the axial field of dipole. The electric field of the dipole along its axial field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 P bar by R cube. Here the magnetic field along axial line is, we are going to take mu naught by 4 pi 2 m bar by R cube. Here this is the bar magnet axial line magnetic field. We already derived in the analogy between solenoid and bar magnet. Okay na? Now this is the electric field along axial line. You already derived in the first chapter, and it is the magnetic field due to the bar magnet along its axis. Okay? And next one is torque in a actional field. Means whenever an electric dipole is placed in a electric field, then the torque acting on that tau bar is equal to P bar cross E bar. Here P is the electric dipole moment and E is the electric field where we place the dipole. Now it is written as tau is equal to Pe sin theta. So this is the torque acting on a dipole whenever it is placed in a electric field. Here theta is the angle between dipole and electric field. In the similar way, here we have torque acting on the bar magnet or a dipole which is placed in a magnetic field is m bar cross b bar. Here m is the magnetic dipole moment and b is the magnetic field which we place the magnetic dipole. Now this can be written as tau is equal to mb sin theta, because this is the cross product, a bar cross b bar equal to ab sin theta. Next, last one is potential energy. When we take the dipole is placed in a electric field, the potential energy U suffix E, UE is the electric potential energy. The electric potential energy is nothing but minus P bar dot E bar. Here it is a energy and work done is a scalar quantity. Minus P bar dot E bar, it is written as minus PE cos theta. This is the potential energy stored in a dipole when it is placed in a electric field. Now magnetic potential energy is nothing but we derived minus m bar dot b bar, that is minus mb cos theta. Okay. So this is the analogy of the electric dipole and magnetic dipole in electric field and magnetic field. Once again see the analogy. Now to remember, they are going to ask in 2 mark question. It is, what is the analogy of the dipole between electrostatic and magnetism? See here, first one is dipole moment. Dipole moment is the product of the either charge and length of the dipole. Here magnetic dipole moment is the product of the current and cross sectional area. Next one is equatorial field, that is 90 degrees making its axis. The equatorial field is 1 minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught p bar by r cube. Here equatorial magnetic field, along its equatorial line, the magnetic field of the bar magnet can be taken as minus mu naught by 4 pi m bar by r cube. Next, axial line. Axial means along its axis. The axial line electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2 p bar by r cube. And magnetic field along axial line we already derived for the bar magnet, that is mu naught by 4 pi 2 m bar by r cube. Next, whenever a dipole is placed in an electric field, then torque acting on the dipole is P bar cross E bar. In the similar way, when magnetic dipole is placed in a magnetic field, the torque acting on that magnetic field tau is equal to M bar cross B bar. Now here theta is the angle between electric dipole and electric field. Here theta is the angle between magnetic dipole and magnetic field. Next one is potential energy. The potential energy is for the move is used to move the dipole from its initial position to the final position in a electric field or in a magnetic field. So that is electric potential energy is minus P bar dot T bar, magnetic potential is minus M bar dot B bar. Now next one topic is Gauss law in magnetism. This is the 2 mark question. What is the Gauss law in magnetism? So first we have to remember what is the Gauss law in electric field. See here, we have a charge. This charge is enclosed by a surface. Okay. When this charge enclosed by this surface, we know that the total charge enclosed by surface is equal to total flux on the surface. The total charge enclosed by a surface is equal to total flux on the surface. From that, what you derive? Integral E bar dot ds is equal to q by epsilon. Here the Gauss law in the electric field is nothing but the total charge enclosed by the surface is equal to total flux on the surface. From that you derived that integral E bar dot ds is equal to charge by epsilon. In the similar way, here we are going to, this is in electric charge or electric field. Now we are going to observe what is the Gauss law in magnetic field. Here we know that magnetic flux is equal to magnetic field dot area. Phi is equal to B bar dot A bar, that is the magnetic flux. And in this we are going to write it as BA cos theta. Okay. So remember this formula. The magnetic flux is equal to magnetic field dot area B bar dot A bar, that is equal to BA cos theta. Okay. So before going to discuss about the Gauss law, here how to take the Gauss law and what is the flux there. Here also we calculate the flux, electric flux there. So, and similarly here also we are going to calculate what is the magnetic flux. Okay. Now here I am going to consider positive charge and negative charge. For example, see in electric field, how the field lines are from positive charge to negative charge. Field lines are existing like this. All of you know that. These are the field lines. These are the electric field lines. Field lines are always from positive charge to negative charge. Field lines are always diverges from positive charge and converted into negative charge, or originating from the positive charge and entered into negative charge. Okay. So for example, if I consider the Gaussian surface, this is the Gaussian surface I consider. How much charge it encloses? The enclosed charge is Q. Similarly, here I consider the Gaussian surface. When we consider the Gaussian surface, here how much charge is enclosed? Minus Q. Okay? So means whenever you observe this closed surface, in the closed surface all the lines are leaving. There are no entering lines. Only leaving lines can be there. Okay? Then the total charge enclosed by this Gaussian surface is nothing but plus Q. Here all the lines are entering into the surface. So here this is taken as the, means according to this charge, the total charge enclosed by this surface can be taken as a minus Q. For example, if Gaussian surface is taken around the dipole, then what is the total charge? The total charge enclosed by that Gaussian surface is 0. Remember, this is also important one more question. The closed surfaces or Gaussian surfaces considered around the dipole, electric dipole, then total charge is equal to 0. Okay? So now like that we are going to define the Gauss law for the electric field. Means we consider a closed loop. Around that closed loop, it encloses how much charge. From that charge we can calculate the electric field. Okay? In the similar way, here we are going to take the Gauss law in magnetic field. So here I consider a magnetic north and south. We know that like field lines are there. The field lines are inside is from south to north, outside is from north to south pole. When I close this portion, when I close this portion means here north pole is closed and as well as this part is closed, means here south pole can be closed. Means this part is closed means when we take any number of pieces, each piece is having north and south pole. So then what happened? Due to these lines, net flux means net charge, net field can be taken as the 0. Similarly, if you close here, then what happened? Here also the net field closed by that Gauss law can be 0. So finally we are going to define, means I explain the clear definition for the magnetism, means Gauss law in magnetism. You have to remember, for that, for understanding purpose I explain here, when you means consider the closed surface around the electric charge, then that charge is enclosed by that surface. If you take the total Gaussian surface around a dipole, its enclosed charge can be taken as 0. But whereas in magnetic field, if you enclose any part, then that net charge can be taken as 0 there. Remember that. In the magnetic field, always Gaussian surface encloses 0 charge, but electric fields only dipole is enclosed, then only the net charge becomes 0. Here in the magnetic field, any portion is act as a dipole. Due to that, we take the Gaussian law is nothing but the total flux enclosed by a surface is equal to 0. That is known as the Gaussian law. See how to define Gaussian law. Here I consider a particular area. This is an arbitrary area, and this area is, this is the magnetic field. I have magnetic field B bar. In this magnetic field I place a Gaussian area. This is certain area can be taken, and this area vector can be acting upward direction. Okay? So means this is the magnetic field. In this I place a certain, I consider certain area, then its area is acting upward direction, magnetic field is acting in this direction. Now angle between the area vector and magnetic field can be taken as 90 degrees. So from this, what is the flux passing through that area? The flux passing through that area is equal to B into A cos 90. What is cos 90? 0. So from that, what we define Gauss law? The definition for Gauss law is nothing but the flux passed through the closed surface in a magnetic field is always 0. This is known as the Gauss law in magnetism. Now see the final definition for the Gauss law in magnetism. Consider a magnetic field. In the magnetic field, place a consider this is the magnetic field B bar. In that we consider a surface. Here, this is the field lines entering into the surface. How many number of field lines are entering? The same number of field lines are leaving. Means then we can take the net flux inside the surface can be taken as a 0. So finally the definition is magnetic flux through any surface is always 0. Okay? In the next session we discuss about the earth magnetism and what are the terms related to the earth magnetism. Thank you.